guys, welcome back to another video. Lots to talk about today, starting off here with a brand new Xbox update to the console and lots of other things with some updates for games. Lots to go over here. But before we continue, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit that subscribe, like the video, share it. Also check out my Spotify, link is in the description. So we now here have the Xbox August update for the Xbox console rolling out to everybody here that's going to be able to experience it. And there's a couple updates here. Some of them are cooler than others, and some of them, it's not a massive update, but something we talked about earlier this week was the Xbox Cloud Gaming update and bringing more Fire Sticks into the fold and basically just spreading Game Pass out to more people who currently don't have a console, or maybe they have a console and just also want to have a secondary option where they can play their Game Pass. And that is adding Xbox Cloud Gaming to the first generations of the Fire Stick TVs. The Fire Stick 4K and the Fire Stick 4K Max second gen was already available, but now Game Pass is going to be available on the TV Stick 4K Max first gen and the Fire TV Cube third gen. So if you have any of those products, you can now go and download the Xbox Cloud Gaming app, the Xbox Game Pass app, log into your account or subscribe and be able to play the entire catalog. Now, in terms of updates to the UX and to the consoles themselves, there's an update here for Discord as well, which Discord integration into Xbox has gotten really good. They're continuously bringing more stuff to it, and I hope they just continue to flesh it out and make it pretty much a very similar experience to what you get on PC. But it says here there is now going to be a happening now, so you can find your Discord friends and channels from your Xbox. So you can see here when you go into your friends, if they're in a Discord channel, you can see that how many people are in there, what they're playing, all of that stuff. If you want to join in, or if you don't want to waste your time jumping into something you're not interested in, you won't have to do that as well. You can now watch Discord streams on your Xbox console. This was something we talked about, I think a few weeks ago, that was with insiders, but now it's available to everybody. And this is awesome because people stream their games on Discord. Previously, you wouldn't be able to see them, and now you can. It says you can now watch anyone who is streaming directly on your Xbox console when you're connected to a Discord call or in a voice channel. So if you want to be able to use that, you're going to be able to. And then we have some updates here for the PC gaming and Xbox consoles as well. It says choose what you want to install for your games on your Xbox consoles or PC. So the installation stuff. And one of the big additions that people are pretty happy about is with Call of Duty, where Call of Duty, the file size is always just so massive. And they are making it better this year, where you can just choose specifically what parts of the game you do want to install, so you don't have to sit through like the multiple 100 gigs or whatever, download whatever it is on Call of Duty, because we know it is just absolutely massive. And then finally, for the Xbox accessories, there's more customization options for the controllers that are coming. They say 2 new customization options are coming to the Xbox controller: the toggle hold and a shortcut to turn off your device. Toggle hold is basically saying here that it coming to the Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2 and the Adaptive Controller works similarly to the Windows sticky keys, and the function when enabled allows the controller button to be held down just by pressing it once. So pretty cool. If the games that will require that, you won't have to, I guess, hurt your thumb by holding it for too long. I don't know, but you're going to be able to use that as well. And then finally here, you can easily turn off devices. They say once you're finished using them through a new controller shortcut. So before, I think you would have to hold the Xbox button and then turn off the accessory, or hold the power button on the accessory. Now there will just be a shortcut that you can do all of this from. So that's the update. Not massive, but definitely things that just improve the overall experience with the Xbox consoles. Now, there's only 2 years left, I would say, probably of this console. So how much more are they going to expand out the updates? Who knows? But I think they're just going to continue to build on this UI, even going forward into the next generation. I'm hoping, obviously, that if they make a handheld, they just kind of give you a nice handheld experience. And then maybe we will see as well in the future things that people are continuously speculating and talking about it, opening it up to more apps on the consoles itself. All right, let's talk Square Enix and Xbox, because this generation has been good for Xbox and Square Enix in the sense that they've built that relationship. There's been games that have landed on the platform that previously weren't there. A major one, obviously, is Final Fantasy XIV, one of the biggest MMOs out there. That came out on Xbox, and now it looks like they want to continue to strengthen that relationship and just add more games to the Xbox platform. We've seen this already from Square Enix themselves talk about it during their financial reports, basically saying they're done with those console exclusivity deals. They have not been beneficial to them, and they want more people to play their games everywhere. But we have some more info here And this comes via the Final Fantasy 16 producer and 14 director, Naoki Yoshida, who's talking about Square Enix, talking about Xbox releases, and after the focus on the PlayStation exclusivity. So Yoshida here tells Eurogamer that Final Fantasy 14's recent release on Xbox was met with a really strong response. And that's just already a great start for putting that game on there. But that's just the starting point for your Square Enix game. Says, with Final Fantasy 14's release on Xbox, Microsoft's gaming CEO Phil Spencer spent a lot of his time, a lot of effort, and put in a lot of hard work into making it a reality. And we do remember when they all came out on stage together, you could see that he obviously put in a ton of time to try to get this thing to happen. Continues here and says, so we would like to make the best of that and further deepen the relationship with Xbox gamers moving forward. And also they say here, Xbox has historically struggled to breach the Japanese video game market, where its two biggest rivals, PlayStation and Nintendo, are based. And Yoshida said that this can dissuade Japanese developers from focusing on Xbox as a platform, quote, saying, however, at Square Enix, we have been changing our policy. So now we are moving towards the policy of releasing our games on a multi-platform basis. And we really want as many players as possible to play our titles. With Final Fantasy 14 as the starting point, we do want to release more Square Enix games on Xbox, and there will be more of our titles released on Xbox. So I hope players will look forward to future things to come on the platform. So, I mean, that's good news. If you're a fan of any of the Final Fantasy games, you're a fan of Square Enix at all, and you're on Xbox, obviously this is great news. The question here is Final Fantasy 16. It does seem like that is going to be coming over to Xbox. There's already rumors and speculation about that. So I would expect that at some point. And then eventually will the Final Fantasy 7 remake games come over? And I feel like that won't be for a while because they probably signed an exclusive deal with PlayStation to finish off the entire trilogy. But if you don't care about any of the older stuff, you don't care about the games that have already come out, or you at least don't mind waiting for those, it looks like the future of Final Fantasy, the future of all the Square Enix games are going to be landing on the Xbox platform, which to me is a great thing to see. Now, we got Call of Duty next yesterday, and the big stream, obviously they show off the game, they show off the multiplayer. It's something a lot of people look forward to every single year. Now we have tons of information here about the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 multiplayer. I think this is going to be an amazing release. It looks like it's a ton of fun, and I'm pretty excited to jump into the beta in just a couple days, and then obviously the full release when it does come out. But here's some more information we now know about Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and the multiplayer. They displayed the Omni movement, which I think looks pretty cool, and a lot of people are going to be coming up with new ways to utilize it, and it's just going to make the gameplay more dynamic. They also talked about how many maps will be in the multiplayer here. And it says, as of now, there will be 16 maps in multiplayer. However, there will be new and classic maps introduced every new season. So they're launching here with a nice slate of maps, 16 maps. So you have Protocol, Payback, Skyline, Lowtown, Subsonic, Rewind, Scud, Red Card, Babylon, Derelict, Vorkuta, Vault, Sandhouse, Stakeout, Gala, and Pit. Those are the 16 maps. You can kind of see a little glimpse of them, but if you want to go check them out, go check out the Call of Duty Next live stream where you see the people actually playing on them itself. The beta will include these following maps: Skyline, Rewind, Scud, Babylon, Derelict, Stakeout, Gala, and Pit. And there will be a new mode added. It says Black Ops 6 will introduce a brand new game mode called Kill Order. And the game mode was described as a combination of Slayer and Objective mode. Every team in Kill Order will have a high value target that they must protect while simultaneously trying to destroy their opposing team. So it's a new mode in Call of Duty, but we've seen game modes like this before in other first-person shooters. Points still count per kill from each player, but you will get more points by destroying the opponent's high-value target, or if your high-value target gets a kill. So it brings definitely more dynamic and strategy to it. You can't just try to farm kills, especially if the other team is continuously getting your HVT. You're going to have to try to figure out ways to take out their high value targets. So pretty cool stuff there. The game looks like a lot of fun. There's tons of gameplay now to go check it out if you hadn't already seen all the leaks and everything. The leaks didn't really show it off fully. I thought it actually helped with the excitement for it, but now you can really see it in its full glory here, and everyone's going to be able to jump in and play this game with the open beta tomorrow. So cool stuff there when it comes to Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Okay, let's talk Bungie. Let's talk PlayStation. This Bungie deal that they made is seemingly getting worse and worse with everything that has happened with the studio recently, with the closures of the layoffs of employees, the folding Bungie basically back into SIE and everything, and getting even worse here with this report that has come out. And this has to do with the former Marathon director who had reportedly is now being fired because of misconduct allegations by female staff. So it says here, earlier this year, former Valorant game director Joe Ziegler announced that he had taken over as a Marathon game director amidst reports that former game director Christopher Barrett had left the company. And there's a new report here from Bloomberg saying that Barrett was fired by Bungie after being accused of inappropriate behavior. So basically what they're saying here is that sources are now claiming the reason for Barrett's departure was a termination following an internal investigation in which at least 8 female employees raised complaints that he had behaved inappropriately towards them. And according to the report, Barrett was said to have told lower level employees that they were attractive, asked them to play Truth or Dare, and suggested that they could help them to advance their careers because of his wealth and power in the studio. And in a statement to Bloomberg, Barrett said of his 2.5 decades at Bungie, he says, "I feel that I've always conducted myself with integrity and been respectful and supportive of my colleagues, many of whom I'm considered my closest friends." He says, "I never understood my communications to be unwanted, and I would have never thought that they could possibly have made anyone feel uncomfortable. If anyone ever felt that way about their interaction with me, I am truly sorry." So, I mean, this just kind of adds to a long list of just negative stuff that has happened with Bungie after PlayStation has purchased them. And it makes you scratch your head. When they were purchasing Bungie, they paid $3.6 billion. I think now you can kind of look at that decision as an overpay for everything that has happened there. Bungie and the owners there, they really, I would say, kind of fleeced Sony here a little bit by selling it at that price point. But we'll see if they are able to recover. I mean, going forward, it's going to be interesting how Bungie operates within SIE, how they're going to make their games. Will they have really any autonomy anymore with creating their content, or is it going to be strictly ran by Herman Hulst and the people over there? And are they going to shift to different styles of game? Are they going to stay on the games as a service? I mean, that seems like the reason why they purchased Bungie was all the games as a service and multiplayer stuff. But the first one that has been released that isn't under Bungie, but released from PlayStation, which you would think Bungie had some say in it a little bit and help and maybe some guidance on how they can do it, is Concord, which is an abysmal failure. We're seeing reports now that Concord is going to be losing like $200 million. This is a Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League style of failure. So we're going to see what happens here. This is an interesting thing that continuously unfolds with Bungie and Sony, and we'll see if they'll be able to get it on track. But that's just more bad news when it comes to that studio. Okay, let's talk Metal Gear Solid. We got a bunch of more information here about Metal Gear Solid. First of all, Metal Gear Solid 4, a game that a lot of people want out on modern platforms. It is still locked onto the PlayStation 3, but we do know that they've released the Volume 1 of the Master Collections, and one of the big questions people had was Volume 2 coming out. If it comes out, what is going to be there? Is Metal Gear Solid 4 finally going to be released on modern consoles? And there's been lots of hints that it is going to happen. Specifically, David Hayter had posted a picture here back in November of 2023, obviously beside Snake from Metal Gear Solid 4, a model of Snake from Metal Gear Solid 4, and he is the voice actor. And people were asking, okay, is he hinting here that this game is finally going to be coming out in some sort of collection onto modern platforms? Because he did also tweet, had a pretty cool meeting the other day. Konami did not respond. They denied anything at that point. But now there's a little bit more information, a little bit more hints that this is going to happen. This says, now in a recent interview with IGN to discuss the upcoming Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Konami producer Naoki Okamura teased Volume 2 and its inclusion of Metal Gear Solid 4. He was asked directly about bringing Metal Gear Solid 4 to modern consoles, and Okamura's reply was, "We definitely are aware of the situation with MGS4. Unfortunately, we can't really say too much at the moment. With Volume 1 containing MGS 1 to 3, ... You can probably connect the dots. Right now, we are still internally concerned about what we should be doing for the future of the series. So sorry, we can't really reveal anything at the moment, but stay tuned." So there you have it. It does very much sound like Metal Gear Solid 4 is going to be on Volume 2. Something people have been wanting for a very long time. I think it's time. Get that thing out there. Hopefully provide some sort of upgrades to it so it is better on modern consoles. and they will sell like crazy. I know with the first one, it did have a kind of a rocky release just with the specs and everything of it when it did release. And hopefully they don't continue to make that mistake with Volume 2, but people will buy up these no matter how many times they release them in a collection. There's so many Metal Gear collections out there you can go pick up. But Metal Gear Solid 4, I think, would be insane because people have been waiting for this one for a very, very long time. And now when it comes to the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, we have some more information on it. The game looks really good, graphically stunning, all that type of stuff. Looks like it'll be a ton of fun. I am going to be picking this up. I already pre-ordered that collector's edition of it. But now we have a little bit more information about the console performance. And this to me is kind of disappointing. Also, it does sort of, I think, point to we're getting into the last couple of years of the console and we're seeing more of this scenario pop up, which is 30 frames per second. And I wonder if now we're at that point where the next 2 years or so to finish off the Series X and the PS5 base console, how rough is it going to be when it comes to performance modes? There's still performance modes out there, and I think they should be prioritized, even if they give us like a 1080p mode, just give that option. It seems like Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater isn't going to have that option. This is a preview here from VGC, and it says here, our preview consisted of the first 90 minutes of the game. Before starting, we were asked to choose between 30 FPS quality mode, which targeted a dynamic 4K resolution, and a performance mode, which renders at 1080 and will dynamically scale higher. So nothing here about a 60 frames per second mode, which is unfortunate. And it just really, to me, is now starting to call into question if we're seeing more of these brand new games coming out, especially as Unreal Engine 5 games come out and everything, will we start to see less and less 60 frames per second performance modes? And you have to ask the question, why? Is it the consoles? Is it because of the hardware? It's not powerful enough? I would beg to differ on that one if they start giving those reasons, because we've seen games like Starfield where 60 FPS patches come in after the release, where they had initially said they couldn't get it into the game itself, or they wanted you to experience it in 30 frames per second. The reality is, I think most gamers have been pretty vocal. They want that 60 frames per second option in their games. Even if the resolution has to drop, even if some graphical features have to fall off, they want that option. So developers need to start looking at what the consumer wants and start developing their games from the start to hit a 60 FPS target. Even if that means reducing some of their graphical fidelity stuff, all of the eye candy stuff that they want in there. At the end of the day, we are the consumers, and they should be kind of catering to what the consumers are looking for here. So hopefully this isn't a sign of things to come for the next few years, but it is what it is right now if you're planning to play this game on the console itself. Okay, a couple more things, just some interesting stuff here. The Witcher 4 set to enter production soon. It's past pre-production. This game is going into full development, full production, which is pretty exciting. It says work on Polaris is progressing and that its development team is nearing a major milestone, which will mark the end of the pre-production phase. And this was during an earnings call where they talked about all of this. The Polaris team is maintaining the right scale to enter the production phase very soon, while our work on both announced and unannounced projects is steadily progressing. So if you're looking forward to The Witcher 4, we may be seeing more about this game soon, as they are going into full production soon. Now we also have this here, Croc. I don't know if you guys remember Croc, these games on the PS1. They were fun platformers, pretty awesome games. And it's coming back. There's going to be a remaster of this game. Argonaut Games has returned, and it comes with a remaster of Croc, Legend of Gobos, releasing later this year for PC and console. The game is a complete remaster of the 1997 platformer that was originally available on PC, PlayStation 1, and the Sega Saturn. They put out this cool little teaser trailer to get you kind of hyped up if you ever played these games. I played these games. These are awesome back in the day, so pretty cool that they are coming back. And here's what they say. We wanted to honor the original gamer's legacy while introducing it to a new audience, and that the HD remaster allows us to do just that. It's been a labor of love for our team, and we can't wait to share it with players on all current consoles and PC later this year. So if you're ever a fan of Croc, looks like it is coming back with new HD graphics, updated motor controls, and just obviously giving it a much better experience than it was on the PS1, or at least that's what you would hope if they do it properly. And finally, we have this, and this I think can be a very good move if GameStop pulls it off properly. GameStop is opening up Gamestop Retro, basically just GameStop for older games. You can see everything here that they are selling. Now, right now, I believe this is only in the United States. I hope it does make its way to Canada eventually, but you can go onto their website and you can start buying all of their retro stuff, or maybe this was up there before, but they're opening up physical stores here where you can actually go and purchase some of these games. And the reason I say this can be a very good thing is all going to depend on how they run it, the stock, the pricing. Are they going to be price gouging people, which you probably would expect from GameStop? I love my retro games. I love collecting my retro games. I have a cool collection of stuff that I like to go through every once in a while and play through my catalog. So this to me is something that's very smart from GameStop, as they've kind of really been falling off over the last number of years. And I have been going through the prices here on their website, and it does seem like they're not gouging. They're pretty much just pricing all of their stuff at what price charting is putting these games at. I don't really see too much craziness here, but I would love to see them do something different here, especially if they are opening up these actual stores where you can go in and get good deals, because it's very hard right now to get good deals on retro games. The market has obviously exploded with all of the collectors out there. It's not like 10, 15 years ago where you could go and get a stack of games for like 15, 20 bucks and just get some great stuff. Now it is becoming harder and harder, but this is very cool that they are doing this. So if you're looking for retro stuff, there's going to be GameStop Retros around, and we will see how long they last and how well they actually do. But I will end the video there. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new, or hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.